Hey guys, today's video is gonna be a bit different. It's not gonna be a build guide because this is not my build. For the first time ever, I started panicking because after I quit Prismatic Burst, I started panicking, not knowing what to do, and I already started Ranger. So I copied Ben's build, Poison, Blade Vortex build, Pathfinder. It's not gonna be build guide video per se, but I'm gonna talk about what kind of issues I encountered playing this build and how I adjusted for my budget and for my liking, and what I didn't really like about the build. Not really about the build, it's mostly just the skill itself, the Blade Vortex itself, that doesn't feel that great to me. And yeah, I'm just gonna show you what I adjusted and what I was able to do, and I'm gonna start with showing the Ben's Blade Vortex character. The damage looks good, life effectiveness also looks really good because this has Determination, Grace, Malevolence, Herald of Agony, capped spell suppression, even has Defiance banner. So this has a lot of good things, and like overall the build feels like it could be really strong, but I encountered a couple problems. When I looked at the path for building, it looked like very ordinary. It doesn't really have anything special. Obliteration and Chaos Impressions. Like the items are also like pretty simple, just like mostly life suppression or life resistances. Armor doesn't even have life, but it does have quite a lot of armor and evasion. The boots just have a lot of rest. But once I started playing, I realized that yeah, these items look simple but and look cheap, but they add a lot of cost when you start counting the Eldritch implicits. So for example gloves, 13% heals damage over time multiplier. That's not the weakest implicit, but actually I think it's one of the highest implicits. So getting that alone could be challenging, but then also rolling life, double res, suppression, and like damage during any flask effect. The gloves alone could be like couple divines. So for the gloves, this is what I got. As you can see, I only have 6% heals damage over time multiplier compared to 13%. And all my items are gonna be like that, like are gonna be weaker, but all the missing parts are gonna add up, and my damage is gonna be way lower than this. Another thing, Impressions, I was surprised that it was 1.5 divines when I started playing this build, and I was like, okay, well, I don't have currency, I did not even have one divine at that point. I couldn't use Impressions, but there's another thing. You mainly use Impressions to be able to reserve Despair, to make Despair as an aura without any reservation. But you can also do Solstice Vigils and use Temporal Chain as an aura, and then add Despair either on aura or on Divine Blessing. So I couldn't get Impressions early on. Like rings are also, like these kind of rings, I would say are kind of OP. It's kind of like min-max. I mean, this is like a finalized version, I understand that, but I don't know, it kind of fooled me that it's gonna be easier to get the damage, and my damage is not even a half of this, it seems, because like I just did not have enough currency. This is the lesson for me as well, because I usually just make build guides and don't really follow them. So it's also interesting for me to see how I would kind of adapt and try to match the build. It's not really like a build guide, this is just like a path for building build. So you just look at it and try to match it as best as you can. I try to also match it, and with my budget I cannot really match it, although it does look simple, but it's more expensive than it looks. So I cannot really match this, but if you continue playing one build for like more than 4 days, which is how long I played this build, you're eventually gonna upgrade most of the items, and you're gonna get that kind of damage. I just don't like the playstyle, so the playstyle is what I didn't like. Now, this is build that is not getting duration nodes, so you just get duration through small things like from here 10% duration, there's a mastery, 15% increased skill effect duration, then the Malevolence itself gives duration. So duration is not great on Blade Vortex, and without big duration on Blade Vortex it just doesn't feel great because it only lasts for 6 seconds. Well, actually, if I use Malevolence and then cast it, then it lasts for 7.4 seconds. So it's not great. I don't really like recasting things every 2 or 3 seconds. That's another thing. I need to keep an eye on Malevolence because it's linked to Divine Blessing, and I actually picked up the Mastery to get 50% increased duration, so it lasts for a bit longer. Another thing, you also need to keep an eye on Plague Bearer. I just put Steel Skin on left click, but because I do not have Determination, I could not squeeze in all the things, and like I wanted to have as few conditional things as possible. So for example, the helmet has the increased duration of ailments you inflict while focused, and the focus only lasts for 4 seconds. But that's another button you need to click, and you need to pay attention, and you may not have all the 4 seconds of window of opportunity to do the damage and stack. Poison in general is always very misleading because you don't always have that kind of damage. This is kind of damage if you can like infinitely have focus, let's say. By the way, these custom modifiers are from the new Pathfinder node. From this one, you essentially get extra 25% physical damage as extra heals. Everything that I cast will consume charges from Amethyst Flask. So I did not even automate Amethyst Flask, which you cannot see because of my ultra widescreen monitor. Damn it. So I didn't even automate the Amethyst Flask. So there are lots of small things, and for example, look at the HP pool. That looks great, but when you start looking at the items, they have like pretty much maximum life rolls, especially this one, life, and then flat life and percentage life, and augmented and season wise. That's like, I believe, like around 2 divines as a base with just flat life and percentage life. So now I'm gonna show you my build, what I end up with. As you can see, the damage is way lower. The mitigation is also noticeably lower, although this is only level 9 to 1 and not 9 to 5. I did adjust my passive skill tree a bit more, did not go here because I wasn't getting the jewels anyway. So I got life a bit more here, a bit more here. And the body armor that I got also has life. In his version he did not have flat life and used the new life mastery to get 15% life. I got this one instead, and I could not squeeze in determination, so instead of determination I picked up a reservation masteries for the course aura skills. I also anointed sovereignty for 12% reservation, which is also not needed because I have enough to reserve now, and I end up using Arctic armor in the end. Another thing, to get a bit more physical damage reduction, I picked up this mastery. 10% less physical damage taken while on full energy shield. There's a bit of downtime, but I think it is pretty noticeable that I have a bit more mitigation than without this, essentially. So in the description I'll put Pathful building import code for my build, for my current build, and Ben's version of Poison Blade Vortex Pathfinder. Maybe you want to copy this. However, the Crucible monsters are so scary being this close to them. And sometimes it's hard to tell if you are hitting them because you are doing so little damage, so you just sometimes just walk even closer to enemies when you need to. And in general, it's just not pleasant being this close to enemies. It works fine for pretty much all the other mapping, and it seems to be fine, although the damage is definitely not great, like having only 2 million DPS, but it doesn't have as many conditional things. One thing that I didn't get is withering steps. I decided to take the mastery. This mastery, 5% chance when you inflict wither to inflict up to 15 wither debuffs. So whenever you inflict wither and you have 25% chance to inflict wither with this thing, but it only lasts for 2 seconds. It's very inconsistent, but once you trigger that 5% chance to inflict 15 withers, you immediately notice the damage difference. But it's only for 2 seconds, so in those 2 seconds you kind of need to reapply that 5% chance during those 25% chance, so it's very inconsistent. So you can fix that by adding the wither totem, for example, or withering steps. I just don't like withering steps in general because that's an extra button, and I believe it shares the cooldown with the other blink abilities or like dash abilities. That pretty much covers my experience with this build. I don't really have a plan for the next build, I just have the mechanic that I want to build around, and I hope to make a video tomorrow about the most broken 1 hero's item in the game. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't, if you don't want to miss that. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.